RAB meeting. Going to call the meeting to order. For open comment, the board welcomes comments but is not able to make any action on them other than to direct the public to the appropriate staff member or complaint procedure. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Comments are to be addressed to me, the board chair, or to the board as a whole, not to any individual member of the board, the staff, or the public. Please raise your hand and wait to speak until you are asked by me, the chair. Please identify yourself with your first and last name, your town of residence. Please refrain from restating comments that have already been shared. You can express agreement with those comments. Order and decorum shall be observed by everyone. Shouting and profanity are prohibited. And as the board chair, I will maintain the order and decorum of the meeting. And I now open it up to public comment, if there's anyone who would like to make a comment. And I don't see that there is anyone currently, unless there is anyone online.
There's not.
Okay. Perfect, thank you. I would like to welcome our guest, Colin Johnson of Vermont Veterans Memorial Cemetery.
Hello.
Thank you so much for being here today.
Mm-hmm.
And if we want to, maybe just go around and maybe Michael could start and say what your name is and what your role is.
Sure. Michael Clark, Superintendent for the Orange Southwest School District.
I'm Nika Oaks, Director of RTCC.
Heather Lawler, Assistant Superintendent.
Lauren Blanchard, I am Misha's assistant. What am I? Sorry, assistant.
You're the registrar.
Thanks.
You're
Great,
welcome.
that too.
Clayton Squires, Assistant Director of RTCC.
Colin Johnson.
Nathan Wright, owner of Digital Done Right and Century 21 The One.
Sam Hooper, owner of Vermont Glove, and I also sit on the OSSD school board.
Thank you. Okay, so I want to just quickly review the RAB membership rules as we have been. And I want to thank Nathan Wright for his service for many years in the RTCC Regional Advisory Board. And tonight we're going to be making a motion to vote our newest member of the RAB, Colin Johnson, onto the RAB. And first I want to review how to become part of the RAB. So RAB members must be elected by the RAB in a formal process for no longer than a 3-year term. And each RAB member's affiliation should represent a substantial company or industry with the potential to employ or serve RTCC's student body. And here I copy and pasted Colin's letter to the RAB of his interest in being part of the RAB board. And so I am looking for someone who, oh gosh, what is the wording?
Motion.
Thank you, a motion to elect Colin to the RAB.
I will make a motion to elect Colin Johnson to the RAB board.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Hi there.
Hello. I'm Renee.
Hi, Renee. Let me get you. Who you represent?
Sure, I'm the Director of Curriculum over in Williamstown and Northfield.
Thank you so much for coming. Of course, appreciate it. I'm Nika Oaks. I'm the Director of RTCC.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. So just to catch you up, we just went through public comment. We did not have any public comment. We introduced Colin Johnson, who works for the Vermont Veterans Memorial Cemetery, and we voted him onto the RAB.
No.
Haven't voted.
Yeah,
Excuse me?
To vote, you say
Oh.
all in favor, say
Goodness,
all
I get so
opposed,
excited.
Any abstentions?
All of those things, yes. Okay, all in favor. Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Is there a
Am I a
magical
voting
word?
member? What?
You
Am I a
are.
voting member?
Yes.
Aye.
Thank
And
you.
you say passes unanimously?
Passes unanimously. You're welcome. A little ahead of myself. So, yes, welcome. So, we are going to move into the program enrollment update. And so enrollment is changing on a daily basis. Only just today, actually yesterday and today, we started having program teachers reach out to students who were accepted to RTCC but haven't returned back their paperwork. So we do find that Though we had 102 acceptances, paperwork tends to linger and we tend to get it through the summer, and we were trying to get that process moving a little bit faster. So I do have an update today, and I will explain how it's written here. So you have your accepted students, and then there's a slash, and then your confirmed students. So I have the programs listed, and you'll see the number who were accepted and then the number that have confirmed that they're definitely coming. And so that is a number that's in flux. And like I said, just today there were 3 more added to our list, and so every day we add a few more. So automotive technology, we have 6 accepted and 2 have confirmed. Construction trades, 8 accepted, 7 confirmed. Diesel technology, 13 accepted, 8 confirmed. Electrical, 20 accepted, 15 confirmed. Diversified agriculture, 10 accepted, 7 confirmed. Digital media, 5 and 5. Criminal justice, 5 accepted, 4 confirmed. Culinary arts, 14 accepted and 11 confirmed. And pre-tech, 20 accepted, 14 confirmed. And design, engineering, and fabrication, 4 and 4. So for a total of 105 acceptances as of this morning and 77 returned acceptances. So like I said, I hope to see that number continue to grow every day between now and, generally speaking, the second week in September, because sometimes we'll get people a little bit into the first couple weeks of school. And so, yes, and so we're looking at a lot of growth in electrical technology, and one of the reasons is because we've been fortunate enough to work out a bus situation where students who were accepted to CVCC or maybe waitlisted for whatever reason, but if they were unable to get into the program that they wanted, if it was a program that we have space for, they are able to take this new bus from CVCC to RTCC and then back to CVCC in the afternoon. So that has expanded our enrollment and allowed us to fill up electrical technology, and it has also added to diesel, and it might have added a few to agriculture too, just looking at that.
Is the accepted number synonymous with capacity, or is there more?
Well, if you look by program, so we can put 16 in each program without a second adult. So if you were to look down the line, what'll happen is the electrical technology has more than 16. So if all of those kids really do end up attending, as well as pre-tech, then we will need a second adult in both of those rooms. But just given the history that we've seen in the last 2 years, there tends to be some folks that don't show up and have changed their mind. So if we need to put a second adult in there, we will, so that the ratio is good. But if not, then we won't. And the ones that have the lower numbers, they can have up to 16. So, I mean, we'd really like to grow automotive, criminal justice, digital media, manufacturing needs, more students there. There is an event that is happening at Williamstown, actually, that is being put on, I think, by your work-based learning coordinator and Karen Johnson. Not Karen Johnson, Karen Chesser. Thank you. And she and they have both invited us to be part of that, and so we've asked our programs with the lower enrollment to participate, and they're excited about that. But yes, we're definitely growing our numbers in some programs and looking to increase numbers in others. But yes.
Is pre-tech the half day?
It is a full day. It was a full day this year. It was a
Okay.
half day last year, though.
Okay.
Yes.
And what do they do in that?
So pre-tech visits, every student in pre-tech will visit every program at RTCC for a maximum, for a total of 2 full days per student, per program. So it's supposed to give them a chance to check out each program and see if it's something they want to do. And then pre-tech has embedded social studies, science, math, ELA, and science. as well as SEL, social emotional learning, and exposure to, not even exposure to, it's more than that. It's the ICC class at CCV, that's a lot of C's, Intro to College and Career. So it's a class that they take for college experience that gives them, it's sort of like a guidance college and career class that you might typically see given by a school counselor, but it's through CCV. So they get that, and then they explore all of the programs, and they get all of their academics. So it's a pretty robust program.
Is there a minimum you cut off where you say, we're not running the program because we only have?
Yeah, it's a good question. So this year, we put 2 programs on hold. For one, mainly for that reason, and the other was partially for that reason, and also for other reasons we later found out about. But, so if we don't have a large enrollment, if we don't have 8 or more people enrolled, then we're not eligible for Perkins funding. And so what we do is we try to increase that enrollment over the course of a couple of years, and if that pattern is not increasing or if it's going down, what we chose to do this year, instead of closing a program, was to put it on hold. So, hi Ann. So we put health careers on hold, and we put education on hold, education services. And thank you. I have exciting news further down in my agenda about health careers.
So Renee, the shorter answer to that is if they consistently stay low, then we're going to have to eliminate them. We've really got to focus in on some of these low classes.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess what I'm
Yes.
asking is, there is potentially 4 that if only those who have responded.
We wouldn't
come.
close it for next year, if that's your.
So
where you're going.
if there was only 2 students, you would run automotive?
For next year, yeah. Mm-hmm. But if it continued at a low, right, then the automotive students, as an example, might be very interested in diesel. And so we could bring those 2 together. But yes, so we would run next year a small program. As we did this year, we had a program with only a handful of students that we did run, actually 2. And yes, so we have a year kind of lead time.
And then also for the classes that, like electrical, if all 20 come, do you have the capacity to add a second adult?
Yes. Yeah, we would add a para.
Okay.
Mhm.
If a junior came in and did automotive tech
Yes.
this year, and you have low numbers next year, you would cancel that and not let him do his senior year as a 2-year?
Well, I
You wanna answer that? Yeah.
Yeah, sure, I could explain that.
Mhm, yeah.
So when you look at diesel and you look at automotive,
Mhm.
it's a career cluster. So we have a certified diesel instructor, and the ASE certifications, they go very hand in hand.
Okay.
And so essentially, what would end up happening is that student could be in diesel and continue on. And then when they come back here for instruction or support, right, if they're not on that work-based learning opportunity, that's what would end up happening. So that diesel teacher would act as their lead and their guide.
Okay,
Does
so
make
that,
sense?
that makes sense for that category, but let's say like construction trades or criminal justice, they want 2 years of it. Is there any way that they could, you don't enroll a junior, but that junior that's now a senior can at least finish his 2-year before canceling the program?
We are a 1-year program, so you finish everything in 1 year, so you earn
So you
it.
don't have to do 2 years?
No. So let's say, but let's take your example. So let's say you did criminal justice for a year, you're a program completer, you got
Okay.
your industry recognized credentials, and then say you wanted to come back and do a co-op, because your second year really should be a co-op.
Mhm.
You can still do a co-op through a work-based learning coordinator, and you would check in with another adult in the building
Okay.
as your check-in person.
Okay.
And that would be for a half day, once a week.
For the co-op?
Mm-hmm,
Okay.
yeah, so it's a 1-year program that we have.
Okay.
Great question.
Can I
Yes.
ask a follow-up question about the students
Sure.
who were not accepted into CVCC?
Mhm.
So for those students, they have to get to CVCC, then they hop on a bus over here?
Yes.
And then come back. So,
Or they can come here directly on their own.
okay. So I guess my question is, this is a full-day program,
Yes,
and CVCC is not?
it is. CVCC is a full-day program.
They offer ELA and social studies and things like that now?
It's labeled as a full-day program, so I don't know I don't know how they do academics. I just know they're a full-day program.
Okay,
They're
because the
one of
last thing I
few.
knew, kids left at like 1:30, and then got on buses and went back to Harwood and U32 and
I'm not
Montpelier and all that.
sure about that piece. I just know they are one of the 5 full-day programs.
Okay, so I was just, I guess I was basically going to, if they were different, if that would impact the students busing at all, or regardless if they're open or not.
It
the
doesn't
bus goes
matter.
at this time and that's that.
Right, so even if our vacations were to be different, which they won't be, but even if they were, they're still getting dropped off at that location.
But if there's a student, let's say, in one of the farther places like Harwood, if they can they catch a bus from Harwood to CVCC, get on the bus, and then get here?
I guess they could, but that wouldn't be
I mean,
part
like, I
of
guess-
that plan. They would have to work that out themselves, how they get to CVCC. Do you know what I mean? We do have Harvard students coming now.
Yeah, no, I mean, I guess my question was just,
Is it open to them?
would it be a possibility for them to be able to get there early enough to catch the bus to get here?
I don't know specifically what the Harwood schedule is, but if that was something that worked out for them, certainly. So, yeah. Nobody's asked that, but yeah.
So on that, would their classes have to be cut short to get back down to the school to catch their bus home? If they took a transportation home? Or will their bus leave at the end of the day like every other bus in Randolph?
They're leaving at the same time as every other bus in
Okay.
Randolph. Yeah. They'll get here for 9, and they will leave at 2:15.
Okay.
Same as everyone else.
So I guess going with that question too, if there's a bus going from CVCC back to Harwood, would
Okay.
students make it back to CVCC to get on that and then go back?
Don't know about that. We're only managing the bus that runs.
I'm just,
from
it might be
CVC.
something to have a conversation about, because there are
Yeah.
students in the further areas who, that might be the reason they can't come, is because they
Okay.
can't, they don't have transportation to be able to get there. And I mean, obviously it would be very long bus rides, but if something could be staggered where their buses leave a little bit earlier so that they can catch it and
Yeah,
then
that's really
go.
interesting. I will have to find out about that and ask and see how many people would be interested in coming. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a really good point. Yeah, thank you. Let's see, my health careers update. So earlier in the year, we had been in talks with Menig Nursing Home to hopefully have a program for our health career students to get their LNA through Menig. And then it ended up not being a possibility due to the agreements that they had going on with Stafford Technical Career Center. And the textbook that they were using, there are some various kind of things that were playing into it. And so it didn't end up happening, but just yesterday I heard that they are now interested in moving forward for the 2026-2027 school year and partnering with us so that our students could get their technical hours of work for their license at the hospital. And we are partnering with someone from the Board of Nursing, the Vermont Board of Nursing, who is going to help us bridge that gap and help us locate an instructor to teach that program so that we can hopefully open that program up again, not this coming school year, but the following, so 26, 27. So that would be really exciting news. We're really excited about that. Also, I wanted to share that we are currently working on a collaboration between our electrical, construction, and diversified agriculture programs to create tiny homes that we would build and then sell to the public. as well as farm stands on trailers. And so our hope is to have a farm stand out by the central office, and we're going to build it next year, and it's going to be a model. People can then buy those farm stands from us if they're interested, or we can build different ones. They could tell us how they want them to look. We are also doing the tiny homes, and so we're going to build a few tiny homes, see how that goes, and then people can, once we get more and more, familiar and they're moving faster, they can tell us the specifics of what they're looking for in the tiny homes, and then we can customize them to people's orders. So that is a new collaboration that we're very excited about. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
You might want to reach out to Fecto Homes.
Fecto?
State of Vermont just passed a new law for in-law houses. If it's under 4 acres and you can't subdivide your property, you are allowed to put a home, 1 story, under 900 square feet, and have someone live on your property as long as your septic and sewer or town water can handle it. And I know they're
Thank
backordered. They're pretty busy with it. So where the way real estate is now, a lot of older people looking to downsize and sell their houses so the families can move in. And if their family members have a big enough property, they can, without having to subdivide, put a tiny home, as you say.
That's very exciting.
Under 900 square feet on a pad, and to get all hooked up and ready to go. So that might be an option where, like you said, you could have different styles or different designs.
Yeah.
Do you want a deck, which is not livable square feet, but you can add it, and 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, that kind of thing.
Where is Fecto Homes located?
Montpelier? Yep.
Thank
You can ask for
you.
Ashley Eberly.
Thank
She's
you.
my contact over there.
Appreciate that.
Mhm.
Excellent. Thanks for letting me borrow that. All right, very good. Yeah, we're really excited about that. We looked at there's a lot of different styles. There's like the modern kind of looking tiny homes. There's some that look more Victorian, and we were looking at farm stands. Some of them look like a caboose. Some of them are traditional like farm stand looks. Some of them look more like little barns. So it's very exciting to look at the different styles, and it's something where we can teach the kids how to draft, in CAD, draft it all out, and then get the parts and get all the materials and make it this whole design where you're working not only with ag and electrical and construction, but you're also working with manufacturing. And so it combines a lot of different programs and gets kids outside. I'm pretty excited about it. So that's new for next year.
Could I just build on that?
Oh, sorry, yes.
Going off of the farm stand idea.
Yeah.
With chickens and egg production being like a really highly talked about thing right
Yes.
now, you may want to also consider branching out a little bit into off-grid high-tech chicken coops. What I mean by that is chicken coops with solar panels on the top with a
Yes.
battery bank.
That was
To
definitely a grow up.
run the heaters or the water circulators or lighting for the chicken coops in the winter.
Okay.
Or I put Christmas lights on mine, and that's all solar operated, as well as being able to run, if you're trying to bring in things like the electric tech people, electric actuators on timers to open and close the chicken coop door.
Oh, that would be really
And then as far as the production students, you could also have them somehow engineer a system where when the chicken lays an egg, the egg drops down into a catch and rolls into a compartment to get the egg from. So
Okay, that's
that would be-
ridiculously cool.
Yeah,
I love
and
that.
that's something that could be a lot smaller grade. You could put more than one of those out in a semester, or however you
Yes.
put it together.
Absolutely.
But I know from experience, I have multiple friends who are off-grid,
Uh-huh.
and adding the electric to the chicken coop has been a struggle because they didn't put that in their original calculations, especially in the winter.
Okay.
So having the chicken coop be on its own,
Yeah. On
you
its
know,
own system. Yeah.
sub-grid,
Yeah,
its
yeah.
own power bank, game changer.
Oh, wow. Thank you for that. That is so cool. And that would tie in what electrical is doing with solar power. So that would make complete sense for them, and yeah, would get them really excited about doing that project. People have asked a lot about whether or not we'll have eggs, and I'm hoping, like, I have to look into all of that and how that would happen, but it would be cool to have our own chicken coop as well as selling them. And we could have one right there that people can see, and like, here's our model, and would you like to buy one? Yeah, absolutely. I'm very excited about this. It's great for the kids to be able to build something and then see that people in the community want it, and then make a profit, and then continue. They're gonna feel like they're really contributing. It's gonna feel good. Thank you for that idea.
Yeah.
Brief staffing update. So Brent Pearson, who is currently our student services coordinator, so he's our in-house special educator. I am making a recommendation to Michael for him to move to his hopeful new position of work-based learning coordinator. And then we do have open positions currently in pre-tech, automotive technology, Brent's student services coordinator position, special education paraprofessional, and diversified agriculture. And then, as you know, the program's on hold that we have education services and health careers for next year.
Would not filling those positions cause those programs to possibly go on hold?
There's been interest. Did you want to?
I would say ultimately, if we can't hire a teacher, then we're not going to be able to run the program. But as Nika
Right.
said, she's,
Yeah, I would say we could always ask students, what's your second choice? But I've found here that we could go a week and not have any applicants, and then we have an amazing applicant that just pops up. So I have faith, and we'd have to cross that bridge when we get there. But most of the time, and actually every time a student applies, we ask them to choose a second program. So we would default to that. Okay, and last but not least, we're bringing back something that had been done in the past, which are called tech projects. So if you think about like a traditional science fair project where you have, you've done an experiment, you've done a backboard, and you've done a project, and then you have a science fair, and your family comes, and the school comes, and you explain your project to everybody. So imagine that, but way cooler, because everybody is picking a tech project that they have a really strong interest in. So something that they want to learn more about, it's within their scope of the program that they're studying, but it's something also creative. So every student has picked a tech project, and we are going to be displaying those at the RTCC open house. So last year we just had an open house where we had all of our programs outside, and